You're listening to Two Chunks and a Hunk, a movie podcast where we give pumps and dumps.
Hello and welcome to Two Chunks and a Hunk. My name is Jordan Wonders, and this week I'm your hunk.
I'm Doge, and a chunk! My dad's been captured by a chunk!
And I'm Carter. She wants to meet me at the chunk of the Empire State Building on Valentine's Day.
Maybe I'm imagining it, but I feel like I heard a little bit of Tom Hanks in your voice while you were saying that.
I didn't.
I wasn't. I was afraid to try.
Yeah.
Maybe I could though. I'll try next time.
Yeah, give it a shot.
So next time there's a Tom Hanks.
Sure.
Okay. Hey, what did you say about yourself?
I said I'm the hunk.
Why?
Because my home in which I live, my apartment, was affected by the Dallas power outage this last week. I was without electricity for
So is it like
4 days.
Is it a pity hunk?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is this like when you go tell a really sad story about yourself to try and get a rose on The Bachelorette?
I think it's more like, look what I survived.
Gotcha.
Look how far I've come.
Threw away about
Look what
$100
can't
worth of
squash me.
food from the freezer and refrigerator.
Oh.
Dang, that sucks.
We had just gone grocery shopping.
Oh,
It's fine.
we did
It's
that
fine.
Good thing we
too.
got so much
It's fine.
podcast money coming in.
Yeah, rolling in the we made 70 cents total.
No, we've actually made
0.07 cents.
0.07
That's
cents.
right. That's very funny.
From an ad that never ran.
So yeah, thanks. Place we won't mention.
Because you're mean.
And you didn't run your ad with us. I can't imagine why. So yeah, I'm the hunk because of emotional fortitude, and my AC works again, and I love it.
So what's
it.
been the sort of your return to the 21st century? What's been the biggest? Because I imagine it's a lot like Captain America waking up after 70 years, like 3 days without power. What's it like? What thing in the modern world do I take for granted?
YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah, I missed it. My power was out during the Nintendo Direct for E3, so I had to watch it on my phone like an idiot.
Oh
On your
no.
phone, dude.
I
Isn't that
know.
a smaller screen
A
than the
little,
TV?
a little bit. Yeah,
That stinks.
my phone is huge, but yeah, it's a little bit.
That is, it is kind of weird.
Yeah, I
How
carry
you
around.
write it everywhere.
I carry around an Insignia 32-inch television screen with me at all times and make my calls on
Hello?
that. Sorry, I can't hear you. So yeah, that's my hunkiness for this week.
We're glad you made it.
Thanks, me too.
We are glad you made it.
We are excellent. You know what else we were glad about? It's the summer, baby.
Yeah.
Summer of love, that is.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
We had a long conversation. We had a long conversation about whether or not we were going to even run that particular section of the episode. And I think what ended up winning is how absolutely hysterical it is.
Yeah.
Can we say that about our own joke?
I think that's fine. I think we can say that because
It's dumb.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's powerfully dumb.
Yeah.
Like its own stupidity is almost amazing.
It has a special stupid stank on it, huh?
Yeah,
Like
it really
It
does.
smells a little like Dum Dum.
It does smell like Dum Dum. And I mean, it's the spirit of the summer of love.
Sure.
But it's okay to love other things, but hey, love yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love who you are.
Hey, baby,
and I
you
love
can
who
go
we
and
are.
love yourself.
Hey, here's a little look behind the curtain. We mostly improv everything.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
The stuff that even gets, I mean, a lot of the work is done afterwards in the post-production.
And there's two camps of people when Carter said we mostly improv everything. One camp is, yeah, we can tell. Thanks, guys. And then the other camp is, well, I sure hope none of it was planned out.
The other is, and you leave it in the show still?
It's kind of two sides of the same coin, I think, to that.
Okay, cool. Hey, love what you love.
Sure. But yeah, Summer of Love, part 2. Return
we
to
are.
Summer.
Yeah.
Sorry, not part 2. Summer of Love 2. Ooh,
Return to Summer.
dangerous.
No parts.
Got to get that nomenclature correct.
And the first movie of Summer of Love 2, Return to Summer, is
Sleepless in Seattle.
And boy, howdy. Not a lot of sleep going on, huh?
Not a lot of sleep in Seattle.
Almost none.
Pretty much not any.
So before we jump in, Doge, would you mind supplying Carter and myself with one of your patented, world famous synopsi?
Yes.
I would mind.
No, thank you.
Sleepless in Seattle. A recently widowed man's son calls a radio psychiatrist to help his dad find a new wife.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
His dad's not sleeping at night, and they live in Seattle. And so the radio psychiatrist dubs him Sleepless in Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
Across the country, a unhappily engaged woman hears this radio show and is determined that Sleepless in Seattle could be her destiny.
Ooh.
Hijinks ensue.
And trust me, they go there.
Yeah, so that's kind of the jumping off point for Sleepless in Seattle.
Sure is.
Guys, I had never seen this movie before.
Me neither.
Okay.
Whoa, I was the only one who had seen it?
Yeah.
Hey,
apparently.
How fun.
of our list of 6 movies, there's only one that I have seen before
really?
this. Yes.
I've seen all but this one and next week.
Seen them all.
So there you go. Yeah, when the name was revealed, like why it's called this,
Yeah.
I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I never knew why it was
This
called
is
this
actually
movie.
really fun for 2/3 of this podcast to like. I love that people are going to get to listen to this with a couple of people that was their first viewing.
Yeah,
That's semi-rare. Definitely rare in the rom-com.
sure. Yeah.
I feel like super rare for this one, too. I don't know how. I missed it, I
Yeah,
guess.
there are a couple of gaps in my movie knowledge that shouldn't be there. And
Right.
some hugely popular rom-coms and romance movies are in those gaps a lot of times.
Really? Gotcha.
Yeah, like I haven't seen Harry and Sally. When Harry Met Sally, I haven't seen...
I haven't seen Harry and Sally's Big Vacation.
Yeah. Too Harry, Too Sally.
You've Got Mail, any of those.
So you don't like Meg Ryan?
Actually, I don't love Meg Ryan.
Okay.
She's not my super dump by any means. I don't know. Maybe this movie to me suffered because of lack of interaction with our leads, and I would have liked to see her
Yeah, they got
have
2
some
minutes.
chemistry. But
2 minutes of on-screen time.
I wasn't blown away by Meg Ryan, to be honest.
Okay.
So interesting. I know that
Cool.
a lot of people view her as like the queen of a lot of this stuff, but not to me.
Yeah.
So
We rate it.
Saddest-
We're gonna rate it, right?
saddest opening to a movie.
Yeah,
It's
for real.
pretty sad.
Very sad. There's
Very
lots
sad.
of times when this movie is way sadder than I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree with that. Kind of a bummer place to immediately start is right after the death of
Cool shot though.
his wife.
To have
Yeah.
kind of I don't know what they're doing with the camera to then show
Everybody
downtown. Well, they're on the hill and then it's not like a complete just pan out. There's like other things happening.
So it,
Yeah.
it zoomed out, and I looked at Callie and I said, "That's not Seattle."
Oh, right.
So
And it wasn't
it was
because they're about to move.
Yeah. So I love right out of the gate Tom Hanks.
For sure.
I
Oh,
mean,
very much. He's so good in
come
this.
on,
Yeah.
dude.
He's done every genre well, except unless you can find one for me. Tom Hanks just isn't built for an action movie. Am I right?
The closest thing I can think
Da
of would be
Vinci Code?
Saving Private Ryan.
Oh, Saving Private Ryan. But I guess war epics
It's
and
kinda
action
different.
movies are different.
Yeah.
And I would
You know
say,
what though? Then I'm going to take that out of my brain because he did a war movie well.
Sure. And,
So
and
then-
Catch Me If You Can is more of a thriller, I guess.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's got some action sequences.
He's good.
Well,
He's
and
got a pretty
there's
effortless
a car chase in Toy Story. So
There
True.
is. He does sound very good with action.
yeah.
Oh, he sounds great with action.
He does. He doesn't have a very standout voice. I think that's why I didn't try to impersonate him.
See,
but it's
I-
very recognizable.
That's it.
Yes.
I could pick him out of any group.
Yep.
But it's hard to do, I think, an impression of because it is just a voice. But
It's just his, It's
Right.
his regular voice.
there's not a lot of
Yeah.
idiosyncrasy to it or like anything to latch on to and be weird about. It's just that's how Tom Hanks.
You know, Bridge of
sounds.
Spies was kind of actiony too. He's just not doing the action.
Sure. Yeah. He's not.
He did
jumping
it
out
Saving
stuff
Private
and-
Ryan though. Okay, well, cool.
Yeah. There you go. Let's
Yeah,
rate it.
Tom Hanks did a great job, and this little kid is good too. Jonah
Oh man, he's great.
Kid is great.
is pretty fun. He's not Elliot. It's kind of unfortunate for Jonah that Elliot was last week,
Sure. Yeah. But he did a great job.
but he did do a really good
I think
job.
you tricked me into it. Jonah is my super pump.
Hey,
Okay, cool.
I'm not normally a child actor guy. I don't typically love the kids in movies. Something about Jonah was absolutely killing me.
He's charming.
He was far and away the funniest part. Laugh out loud funny for most of this movie for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
he is funny, and just the random things he knows.
Let's
That, like-
hold on to that just
Okay,
a little
okay,
bit.
sorry.
Let's get there a little bit. 'Cause
Sorry.
I want to talk about one scene in particular that I think you're also talking about.
Okay.
But this kid never did anything else. But at first, I thought he was the youngest Lawrence brother when he first came up on screen. You remember the
yeah.
Lawrence brothers?
Yeah,
I thought he was the youngest one. Not Joey, or is it Joey? I don't remember. But
Larry.
Larry Lawrence.
Yeah.
That was his actual name?
No.
Oh, I was like, what a bad choice.
No, but something about his like facial structure, I was like, is that the youngest Lawrence? It's not. But yeah.
You have the facial structure of a Lawrence brother.
So-
Has anyone ever told you that?
Anyone ever complimented your Lawrencean cheekbone?
Every day.
So
Lawrencean
right
cheekbones.
after I got to get out of here, we're going to move. We get our title sequence, and then we move on to Annie and Walter.
Yep.
So
Poor Walter.
Bill Pullman
Yep.
is so funny in this movie.
He is
Yeah,
funny.
he's great.
He plays such a great dork.
Yeah. He is funny. I'm not going to super dump on it, but because we did that I think I super dumped for, was it Chris Evans? No, not Chris Evans. What's the name of the actor who, in The Notebook,
James Marsden.
James Marsden. I was like, that did not seem fair because he was a good dude.
Yeah.
It's kind of a similar
It's not
thing.
abusive or anything, but like Walter's a sweet guy. He's just allergic to everything.
Yeah.
But
She even mentions that he's a fantastic athlete, and I laughed out loud. I was
Right.
like, that guy?
yeah. And there's so much Seattle in here because like there was a fun trivia of how many of the people in Sleepless in Seattle had been an extra or co-starred in an episode of Frasier.
Frasier.
Oh, interesting.
So many. But yeah, I'm a big fan of any rom-com family eating scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
Extended family.
Completely agree.
Yes.
There's just fun. That just had to be fun to film.
So, having never seen this movie, I was 100% convinced that Walter was going to drop dead at this table, and it was going to be two people who just lost the loves of their
Just
life.
this morbid kind of.
Right.
Yeah, I guess it's a good
Having
vibe.
never seen it, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to die. I
Yeah.
thought he was going to have an allergic reaction, be out of his inhaler.
And Pullman's
and
kind of
try
a
and-
big actor, especially at that
Yeah.
time. So
Yeah, I
that
thought
would
they were
have been
trying
funny.
to psycho me and
Yeah.
kill off one of our mains. But
Spoiler.
yeah, Hitchcock spoilers ahead.
It's
I
called
guess.
Psycho, guys. Okay, chill.
But yeah, the dinner scene is so good.
It is
and
funny.
just uncomfortable, and I love
Yeah.
the rapid fire reminder of who every person she's related to is.
Yep.
It's so real. That
Yes.
like,
and the guy
and
is
he did
trying
what
to
now?
make like uncle or cousin or something is trying to make a deep connection with Walter because he wants him to feel welcome. He's like, oh my gosh, I also am allergic to things. Like
bees. It's bees.
It's
I'm allergic
I'm
to bees.
allergic to bees.
Definitely allergic.
And
And they
it's-
say
he's
outdoor
almost-
wedding, and he goes, but the bees.
But the bees, yeah, he's like thinking to the past of
Yeah.
like maybe an awful experience he's had or his just
so
fear
good.
of bees. But yeah, it's funny.
The dinner scene was so great.
I liked it a lot.
Um,
Then we have her with her mom, right?
yeah, and I really liked sort of that whole interaction with,
Yeah.
you know, the wedding dress and look for magic. Now, I have a big problem with the fairy taleization of
Yeah.
romance movies.
Sure.
Particularly, I feel like in this one, it is highly fairy tale,
Like there's a connection.
but only the parts I don't like in fairy tales. Like I feel like it's all suspension of disbelief and none of the actual magic, if that makes any sense.
Okay.
For the most part, not the whole way through, but I feel like a lot of it is like, oh, they use the word kismet at one point. Oh, it's kismet. Everything's just working out so perfectly, and it's like, yeah, sure,
Right.
but without there's no fairy godmother that's controlling things. Or
You guys tricked me. I'm going to have nothing left to talk about for the rest of this episode. That's my super dump.
Is it?
My super dump is how like fatey this movie is. You know what I mean?
How
Where-
what?
Fate-y.
Oh,
like
fatey.
FATE-Y.
Fatty? Sorry,
Fatty.
he's
How
mispronouncing
fatty
fatty.
this movie
Oh my
is.
gosh, that's so weird.
But no, it's so like, and I think that's the reason, super spoilers to skip ahead, that's the reason our leads only get 2 minutes of screen time together, is because it's not important whether they get along or whether they have a happy relationship, because they're meant to be together.
I
You know
think
what I
that's
mean?
sort of what. Yeah,
And that, it just sucks. That rubs me the wrong way because there are so many real life relationships that get ruined because people expect that feeling.
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's fair. Well, and I based on watching them interact separate, like with other people separate from one another, I honestly did not get the vibe that they were a good fit.
But I think the message of the movie is that doesn't matter because they're meant to be together. You know what I mean?
yeah, I guess that makes sense.
There's going to be the people. There is a naive movie watcher for every genre.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, and I don't think it's going to be. This was not, and I'm not even trying to compare the two, but this was not the, oh, I love Edward so much I'm going to kill myself kind of
Right.
concerns kind of thing.
Right.
But I think in a rom-com, like if you look under genre in italics, it says rom-com. it's going to be like this,
Yeah.
especially in the 90s.
Sure.
Like, so I think that's the place for it. Now, what has happened is there are really well-made, and this was Oscar-nominated movie, by the way, during the time, but for screenplay. It was written directly for the screen. But there are like a lot of really good love stories that make sense, and they show the grittiness and the nastiness and the like, this is love, this is a different definition of love and stuff. That is not the place for this.
Right.
Yeah.
That
I
doesn't
think
mean
you're
you
right.
can't super dump that for this movie, but I'm just like, what were you expecting from an iconic
Yeah,
rom-com?
no, I
you know?
think you're right.
But I think that is part of coming in having never seen it. I didn't know
Right.
what to expect.
That's true.
And it's frequently listed up there with other movies that I do love.
For sure.
And not that I didn't like this movie, but
Yeah.
like that's not my super dump, but to me it was just a little like, okay, I guess I wasn't expecting it to be this reliant on things that are meant to happen will happen.
And
You know what
I think all of that was for the payoff of the end. Because, and I thought of it as a payoff because I thought how fun, like you almost felt like the writer's room was like, what if we had a love story that ended with the line, "Nice to meet you,"
Yeah. Which is
incredibly unique.
Yeah.
And there is some charm to that. And so I was like, you
I
can't really
completely agree.
have that unless we have kind of the structure of what we do for the rest of the movie.
And so
Yeah.
I'm okay if we talk about the end real quick and then jump back to where we are in the story
Sure.
just while we're on it, because I don't want to forget this. But
Right.
I actually started to love the ending and then ended up having a problem with it.
Okay.
Because if it had been, oh, wow, you're Annie. Yeah, you're Sam. Wow, nice to meet you. Smile, handshake, jump away, show the Empire State Building, call it. That's the end.
Right.
Then I think I would have been like, that was kind of cool. But the like, grab her hand, like, it's time for us to go. Are you coming? Like, it's just like, are you already on a date? Like instantaneously? Like that felt weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't know. It felt strange.
Yeah.
Now, there's a lot I loved about this, so I want to make sure we get back to that.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
The actual last lines were a little like jarring for me.
Yeah.
But I do love the idea of the actual relationship doesn't matter because it's about how we got there.
Yeah.
I do like that.
Yeah. For sure.
that is
I
cool.
think what happened is maybe it's the first watch. Maybe it's just like, because y'all went through it. And I'm not saying you're going to love it more if you ever watch it again.
Sure.
But I think I did not expect any kind of realism. Like I didn't expect it
that's
to be
fair.
realistic. And so I never had that lens. And so maybe that's why it was just not
And
as
maybe that's
punchy or anything.
maybe that's the difference is this does kind of fall under the fairy tale genre almost.
Like when I
Yeah.
think of Sleepless in Seattle, like if every genre was a book, like whatever Sleepless in Seattle represents for the rom-com is the before bed read. That is 20
Yeah.
pages
Interesting.
long with the pretty pictures, and then they get on the elevator at the end. Like
Yeah.
it just feels like, it does
Yeah.
feel fairy tale-ish to me.
So as hard as I tried to go in with no expectations, maybe my expectations were a little more what I'm used to,
and that's
it
just
wasn't
because
that.
of like, I mean, it got voted in. So
Sure,
like people
yeah.
love, people like, why? You know, so I get it. That's going to be interesting. I wish there was one that I was seeing for the first time.
Yeah, I know. I'll be with you after next week.
I'm seeing
Yeah.
almost all of them for the first time.
This will be
so.
cool.
That's great though.
Yeah.
I love that. Because I love what that did for you last year. I think you enjoyed kind of diving into this genre a little bit and figuring it out. But, well,
That's how
that's
we
great.
all were with Fast and Furious a little bit.
So here's my super pump, and it might be pretty spicy, but my super pump is Meg Ryan. And let me tell you, so it's really interesting because I don't think there's anyone like her, and I'm not going to say she's like I'm not trying to have her get away with not being like the best actress in the world.
Sure.
So she was, I mean, direction would tell you she was like the seventh choice. It was
Yeah.
like Kim Basinger, Julia Roberts, Nicole Kidman, like none of these,
Oh, really?
nobody's, Demi Moore, like all of your like typical 90s heartthrob, like they're in rom-com type stuff,
Right.
passed. They just passed because they didn't like the script.
Huh, interesting.
They didn't like the story. And so then Meg Ryan comes in and she's done, she's kind of, for a while, was the face of rom-com. She was like, You've Got Mail, When Harry Met Sally, all this kind of stuff. I think she is there's something about her that was charming to where it feels like she just was this regular person that stumbled on set and played a role.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like, I look at Tom Hanks and I'm like, he's a good actor.
Sure.
But there are times when it's like, he's acting, but that's what he's asked to do, right? It's his job.
Sure. Yeah.
But she just, and I'm not trying to award her for being like lazy or not trying harder, but she's just like charmingly normal enough
Yeah.
Sure.
to be just a great like female character.
I 100% agree with that. I feel like her performance is not as precise as Tom Hanks.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not like as measured as like, I don't know where I was going with that.
Yeah, I mean it's hard to put a finger on it.
Yeah.
But
is.
whatever it was, I liked it.
Sure. Yeah.
It's like if I've had a drink for the first time or tasted something for the first time and I can't get that ingredient. I know I've
But
had
you
it
want another
before.
sip?
Yeah.
But I want another sip and it's like really familiar to me. But yeah, Meg Ryan is my super pump for this movie.
Yeah.
Just because I liked everything about her scenes. I think there's parts of her I've told my wife before, and I think I'm adding a third person now, like what mix of actresses she is. Have you ever done that for your wives? So I feel like Chelsea, for the longest time, and these still hold true. I had two parts, but I've got the third now, and it's Meg Ryan. But Chelsea's like Reese Witherspoon and Kristen Wiig, and now like with a little bit of Meg Ryan in terms of like her personality.
Mannerisms and
Yeah, and I think it's kind of fun. Like when Chelsea gets really goofy, she's Kristen Wiig from Bridesmaids. Like she's just off the cuff, saying whatever she wants, doesn't care. It's hilarious and stuff. Reese Witherspoon is almost doppelganger-y for Chelsea in terms of like a Lawrencian cheek line, bone structure. But then there's this thing about Meg Ryan that like the charm, and that's probably, I mean, maybe I'm biased. Maybe it's because it reminded me of like things about my wife, and that's my super
totally
pump.
could be. And I mean, if that is the reaction that her role in this movie that she gave you, then I mean,
She did her
glad.
job, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, to me, she wasn't that at all. But that is what is so interesting about stuff like this is like,
I know.
we got completely different reads.
I wonder
And
what it is.
I want to be very clear that I did not hate her.
Yeah. Well, I think we get, and this was another reason I was excited for Summer of Love, because our most, like, where we've been on so many different sides on reads has been in rom-coms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wonder what it is about the genre that people just, like, hold on to just specific, like, no, I don't know, right? Like,
I think because so frequently the movie is either bad at one and good at the other, or bad at both, and it is rare to have one that is good at both. So a lot of rom-coms fail at being romantic or comedic or both.
Yeah.
And these aren't all rom-coms. You know, some of these are a little more
Just
serious.
romance, yeah.
But like, particularly with rom-coms, I think they're divisive because if it's not funny, then is it really a rom-com anymore?
Yeah.
And if it's not that romantic, then is it just a comedy? And
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah.
I
And if
wonder-
they succeed at both, they have reached an echelon that I don't think many do.
Yeah. I wonder if like a deep root of it is I don't want to call it a feeling. There's probably a better word for it, but of like emotions, or maybe there's the most like branches of love. Like maybe
I
there's
was going to
just
say, I think
so
it's highly
many.
subjective.
Yeah. And
And
you were
so
talking about,
This movie's version of love
it's just
is
hard to
foreign
define
to me.
Yeah.
This movie's idea that love
That's cool.
happens and you feel it and it's magic is foreign to me. That is not how
Oh
I
yeah.
experience
Well, that didn't
love.
happen to me either.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I think that it was hard for me to get on board and root for
Cool.
like chase the guy from the radio because you know it's going to happen because that's wild to me.
Yeah.
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 Which
pretty
it's
crazy.
supposed to be.
And that gets, and we don't have to have a deep conversation about movies that don't have to do with Sleepless in Seattle. And I know I've been the flagship for that, but it's like, I wonder if some of the things that reach us the most are closest to our opinions of that thing.
It could be.
Or of that feeling.
It could be.
Yeah.
Or different in a way that challenges rather than
There you
annoys.
go. Yeah,
if that makes
because
sense.
I was saying too, a lot of my movies that I like a lot are the ones that open my mind.
Sure.
That like stretch me a little bit
Well, because
more.
for me, I feel like this movie, rather than challenging me to think about love in a different way, instead is more just along the lines of like, I watched it and was annoyed on behalf of like, kind of what Doge was talking about, how many people I know that have fallen victim to not being able to like anybody because they're waiting for the magic spark. And maybe that happens for them.
I
Maybe
get
that does. Maybe that's
no,
real.
I get that.
Yeah.
But that's not how I experienced that.
You're like, this is fueling the spark.
Right, yeah.
I get that.
And so, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
But
Maybe we're just three big old grumps, though.
That could be
That's
it, too.
also a huge possibility.
It could be.
But we get the split, and on the drive, Annie hears
Yep.
Annie. I keep wanting to say Anne. Annie hears Dr.
I can't remember.
I don't know.
something Field, the doctor's radio show where
Yeah.
Sleepless in Seattle, where Sam calls in, or rather Jonah calls in on behalf of
Yep.
Sam.
Yep.
That scene is great.
Oh,
That
I like
whole phone
I like,
interaction.
Yeah, I like the idea of the radio show with anonymous callers being kind
Yeah.
of the structure of
Very
the story.
much.
I think
love
that's been
this.
fun.
I love this. I feel like we get to see the first real personality from Jonah and sort of his whole vibe. We get to see Sam as a father and not just a man in mourning.
Yes. And Tom Hanks is so funny.
Yes.
Yeah.
He is so naturally funny.
Yes, he's so good.
He doesn't
in this.
even have to say funny things.
He's,
You know what I
he's
mean?
great with his face.
He is.
And that seems like such an ignorant
What a
thing
good
to
thing
say
about an actor.
I know, it seems so
What a
ignorant. Like,
good
he's
face.
so good with his face.
But
There's people that aren't, guys. We'll talk about Fast and Furious soon.
do we get the teeth brushing scene here, or is that in a little bit?
You go ahead and do it now.
I think he's in a little bit, yeah.
So the teeth brushing scene, just speaking of that, so my super pump is the father-son relationship between Sam and Jonah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Watching Tom Hanks as Sam, as Jonah's dad, and the way that he guides and loves, but kind of lets Jonah say what he's feeling and say what he's thinking before the correction, rather than like, don't say that, that's inappropriate. He explains things. And I think that's rare to see in a movie from the 90s in a father-son relationship.
Sure.
To see a dad let the kid
It's
say the
definitely
wild
not in
off the
Jingle
wall
All the
stuff.
Way.
Sure.
That's the only other father-son 90s relationship I can think of right now. That's totally different.
I was thinking,
right?
I
was
love that
thinking of-
movie so much.
I was thinking of Scott Calvin and Charlie. So
Well,
From-
I think that's a great way to
Yeah.
What is
contrast a single father
The
with
Santa
a
Claus.
kid.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
That's a very authoritarian like
yeah.
figure, and
And it's also one half of our Toy Story leads.
It's true. It's true. But I love the brushing the teeth scene. Just everything that Jonah knows way before his time, and things that he
And it probably was
Is
the
she going to
sink.
scratch up your back?
yeah, that's
Oh,
so funny.
Wait, huh?
What?
It's probably gonna. It might have just been technically to get them in the frame for how close they wanted it. But I even like the little things of like getting on his knees to brush his teeth with his son.
Yeah.
And like,
To
hey,
be
hand
on
me the
his
towel.
level.
Oh yeah, I need that too. And he rubbed it in. And sometimes
Just two boys. There's something
That's what
about
it
that.
was.
Yeah. It's really sweet.
and that carries through the whole movie.
Do you feel like in movies, single dad with kids feels more helpless of a situation than single mom with kids?
I think oftentimes it's portrayed that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Yeah.
talked about, the women in the diner talked about, he just doesn't cover anything in his refrigerator
Sure, right.
and it
Yeah.
dries out, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I loved this movie could have never showed the female lead and just been about a father-son that was trying to find the right woman for the both of them
Mhm.
as a mother and
I feel
a
like
wife.
they had more screen time.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
And I would have been just as I
Yeah.
love this relationship.
Yeah, I do too.
It is so fun.
It's great. Was that you just
That's
pumped
my
it?
super pump.
Oh, it's your super pump. Great. Cool.
Yeah.
And then we go to, do we want to go to seeing Annie's work?
Yeah.
Like seeing what she does and how that kind of ties in?
Yeah. I do want to talk about their best friends for just a second.
Oh, cool.
Remind me of the name of the actor who plays
Reiner.
Rob Reiner.
He is the director of The Princess Bride.
Many funny
And
movies.
he is Jessica Day's dad in New Girl, who does the lettuce, tomato, meat.
Yeah, I think he
So-
directed Spinal Tap.
He did.
So-
and Best in Show, I think.
Uh-huh.
Is he male Rosie O'Donnell?
He deserves more credit than that.
Is Rosie O'Donnell female him?
I'll give her that.
Their best friends to me felt like they were just like, this is a great archetype. Let's make a boy version and a girl version for our girl and our boy.
I never looked at it that way.
Rosie
I kind
gets
of
more
see
screen
it, though.
time for sure.
Rosie does get more screen time, but they're like, even like they have the same voice, kind of. You know what I mean? Like it's just
Right?
I
You
knew
almost
that.
felt like there was going to be a meet cute between those two.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They came
would've been
along
great,
to the Empire
actually.
State Building.
Yeah, that would
They're
have been
both
funny.
out in the cars waiting for them at the bottom of the Empire State
Dang,
Building.
I
would be
kind of
really
really
good.
wish that had happened.
Come on.
The tiramisu conversation had me like
Yeah, that's
rolling.
really
that
funny.
was
So
very
funny.
good.
That's
There's
really
a
good.
lot of funny that you just felt like were improv, like
Yeah.
ad-libbed.
Well, particularly, I just think Rob Reiner is one of the most naturally funny people.
Oh, yeah.
and it
He
is
feels like a
joy
Larry
whenever he
David
pops
to
up.
me.
Yeah,
Yes.
In a way.
Yes.
That he's just being Rob Reiner.
just give him control and he'll do it.
He's just being Rob Reiner.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely.
That's great.
Rosie is just Turk to me. I
Turk.
realized it's just her voice
Turk
came
forever
out.
and always.
It's just Turk.
Yep.
The end.
That's one of my favorite songs. Turk Forever and
Turk
Always.
forever and always.
Yeah, I mean, it just really it was Turk, man.
Yeah.
I couldn't stop.
Do they work together? Are they both at they don't work together, do they? Rosie
you know
and
what?
Annie?
There's two things I can't answer right now, and it's that question, and what does Annie actually do?
She's a writer
She's a writer.
for the Baltimore Sun.
Okay, that's what I thought. There was just so much weirdness surrounding.
There kind of was.
Yeah.
Funny reference though. So this was even before Seinfeld. Did you read this?
Yes.
So they're talking about just in conversation as she's walking into this meeting room. One of the guys who's a writer as well is talking about like he's like they had just interviewed this guy from New York. They're like he is so mean, but he makes the best soup.
Yep.
He's just the
What?
meanest guy. So soup Nazis are a real thing.
I didn't think about that.
and that
That's funny.
was like Jerry and Larry wrote about that for Seinfeld. And this was pre-soup Nazi and a reference to the soup Nazi.
That is funny.
Yeah.
That's
so fun.
crazy.
The guy-
This character, like I love people like that in society
Yeah.
that you just know who they are.
Like Salt Bay.
I
and
I
Amy
think what I
Baking Company. Like people
I
like
think
that.
what I respect is just this, you don't care. You are yourself. And
Yep.
you didn't try and write. Now, Salt Bay might have
He's
tried
putting
to
on.
lean
putting
in
on,
a little bit,
sure.
but
Now,
Is Salt Bay the soup Nazi that we deserve for this year?
yes.
I love it. Now the bigger guy that's doing the of the two guys that they like have the meeting with,
He's in,
he's in heavyweights.
is he in Raiders? Is he one of the Army guys?
I don't think so.
I don't know.
I don't think he is. But
He
I
is
do
in
know
heavyweights, though.
He's Pat from heavyweights. And the second I saw him, my brain was instantly SATUY.
Yeah.
Not, and all I saw was Lars Wiimote thrusting in the air.
We need a camp series, don't we?
Ooh, I
Dang,
think we
that kind of
super
would have
do.
been a good summer series, huh? Summer camp.
Hey, we're already here, guys. Don't worry about it.
Tom McGowan. Maybe, no, it wouldn't have been him in Raiders. He's too young.
Before we talk about the back half of this movie and get to the back half of this podcast, let's take a quick pit stop
To the half.
for shout announcements. Welcome to Shout Announcements. It's part of the
Yes.
show where we make shout outs and give announcements. Except reverse. Strike that, reverse it, as Willy Wonka would say. Our first
Oh, I thought that was
shout
Missy
out.
Elliott.
Missy Wonka.
It's your from a nephron, yeah, that's
Pretty
all.
good.
I don't think I said the words. I'm glad I didn't, because this would have a big old E by it if we said those actual words.
That's
Go.
pretty good.
Go.
So the first shout out we're going to give is pretty standard. It's to Wax Space and to Tyler Station. Thank you, Wax Space and Tyler Station. We're frequently in you doing stuff. And also, Crumb and Kettle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, we drank your coffee and we bought some tacos from you. Big fan.
Yep. Shout out to Taco Deli for providing those to Crumb and Kettle.
Yeah. Shout out
Very
to
good.
Target. My
It's
shirt
nice for
is
these
from
morning
there.
pods. Okay.
I want to say a big special thank you to everybody who participated in our What You Streamin' Q&A on Instagram this last week. That was super fun. And
Love
you
it.
guys
Yeah.
have great taste.
That's
I don't
true.
think there was a single show that somebody wrote in that we were like, oh, why would you watch that?
Right.
Like everybody's got great taste. And it's super fun to see what we're all watching.
And I love having the Two Chunks community adding to like advice and stuff. We should
Yeah.
probably do more stuff like that.
Absolutely.
Super cool.
Yeah,
'Cause
give
they-
us a follow over there on Instagram because we're going to be doing a lot more stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was super fun.
Extra stress on that follow. I mean, I love our Instagram account. Doge does a phenomenal job. It's just pretty. The chooser's choice. I can't say enough. Like that was a really well put together, kind of minimalist. It was fun because there's like this poster at my house.
There is. That's exactly
that
what
Doge
made me
gave a
want to do
look
that.
because he was over for a Cinco de Mayo party and fell in love with that and then just ran with it. And
Yeah.
I just love his mind. And so
beautiful.
it's so beautiful. Another thing too, keep looking for your famous friends or famous friends that know famous friends.
Yeah.
Yes.
We want
We
that.
need the hookup.
It's our birthday and we want it.
We've
On
got
our
some
se- on
good
our
leads
second
already, so we need you to
we
jump in.
do. We do.
Yeah, so the way that's going to work is you're going to send us the famous people that you know, and we're going to interview them on our second birthday. That is October 10th of this year.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably so.
The most famous person that we collectively know
It's happening.
will be asked to be a guest on
There
our
you
show.
It
And we'll see.
can't not be a good thing, right?
We'll see, right?
It's going to be really exciting. And speaking of famous, I'm going to be on my third podcast of the year.
Okay. You think you're
Wow.
better than me.
That's cool, man.
Shout out to Story Shaped Life. They're
Okay.
still doing their thing. It's great.
It's true.
Enneagram, they're on the Enneagram right now. Also, the Board Baptist podcast. It's a fun combination of like sports, faith, and just conversations about how sports kind of shape personalities and kind of who we are, some narratives. It's not for everybody, obviously. Do y'all know who won the NBA championship last night?
It was the Boston Celtics.
Okay. See, that's why I'm on this podcast.
They're a
So
basketball
it's about
team,
sports.
though.
They are a basketball
So
team,
I was in
and
the
they
right
won.
vein.
So give that a listen. That'll be coming out next week, and we'll shout that out again as we get closer. Another thing that we'd like to do, please review the
Please.
podcast. We're so close.
Yeah.
Like
Very
we're
close.
really, really close right now. And so we've got about 45 reviews left before we've almost checked our final box that is in our control.
Yeah.
The 2 years comes up around that time, October 10th. And so we could have a lot to celebrate in the fall. And you, regardless whether we meet that goal or not, you'll be the reason that we celebrate it. So
y'all are the
please.
best.
And just to be clear what we're aiming for on that, by our second birthday, we're shooting to get 200 reviews in, and we're super close. So thanks to everybody that left a review, and get out there and get to typing.
Type it up.
Start leaving them.
Yeah. And speaking of you guys being awesome and doing great things, you picked some great movies for this
Yes.
Summer of Love
Very
2
excited.
Return to Summer series. And the next movie that we're going to talk about next week is going to be Sweet Home Alabama, starring Reese. Wait, what's she holding? It's a spoon.
She's with her spoon.
It's Reese Witherspoon.
Gosh, I was hoping that wasn't the joke you were going to
Yeah,
make.
I was also hoping it wasn't the joke I was going to make, and yet here we are. So now what?
I can't believe you've done this.
So make sure you tune in. It's going to be awesome.
Yep. We'll be coming home to you with Sweet Home Alabama. Dadgummit. I was so proud of just finding a lyric from that song.
Porky Pig.
We'll be
And now we're going back to the show. And we're back.
That gets weirder every episode, I think.
That's the goal.
Do you think that's anyone else's goal, though?
No.
Do you think they're like, I can't wait to hear how we get back?
Do you think that maybe 2 out of the 3 people on this podcast want that?
I think most listeners miss the beginning of the coming back from shout announcements by about 13 seconds because they hit the 15-second skip right
They
as we
just
said.
scrub right there.
Yeah.
It's fair.
That's funny. I love it.
It's my goal. I want to put like deep personal confessions in that 13 seconds so that they're always missed.
Ooh, y'all missed that?
Whoa.
I prefer thick noodles to small linguine.
What?
I do, though.
You do.
I like a bready pasta.
Good, dude.
I like a bready pasta.
I'm happy for you, man.
Nobody's going to know. They're all already to the next part of the show.
Which is what? Maybe we go there too.
I love that. I love that.
Okay, where are we in this story?
We are just about the time where everybody's getting all riled up and trying to meet Sam. He's getting
That's right.
letters and he's getting propositions and he's starting to ask out. Don't remember her name. The designer.
I don't know if it's
Don't know.
memorable.
Don't know. Her hair is a triangle. We can call it a
Her hair
triangle.
is a full-blown triangle.
I think one of the Rugrats parents has triangle hair.
Yeah.
Her laugh is a lot.
The worst.
It's too much.
Yeah.
It's a lot. If
It's
that
intentionally too
was
much.
her, I'm most tickled. I get this once a month or 10 times
You
a
do
year.
it, yeah.
Love it because
I got the vibe.
you're good friends when they laugh real hard.
Yeah.
That's what you remember.
Yeah.
I got the vibe that she was trying to do that.
I think so.
So,
yeah.
You know?
And we talked about how this movie is pre-Seinfeld.
Yeah.
But so did Jerry take his style from Tom Hanks on a date? Tom
Like
Hanks
the
going
short
on a
tie
date
and the tall pants.
Yeah.
looks like he has no tie. Looks like
He has a tie, doesn't
He
he?
has a tie.
Seinfeld
It's
with
a
his
short
hair.
little- a short
It's a
little
super
tie.
it's a short tie.
Short tie with
I
a
missed the
little,
tie.
it's like not pointed at the bottom. It's like flat at the
How
top.
interesting.
And this is the point when Jonah's like, but,
Yeah.
the girl.
Yeah.
So from Baltimore, Annie from Baltimore.
Annie from Baltimore.
And so that's when we start to get Jonah pulling strings to make that happen, which is cool.
And then when we have Annie, I love the scene when she's waking up with Walter in the middle of the night to listen because Turk is like, hey, you should listen. He's on
Yeah.
right now.
Yeah.
And
Elbows
his
him right in the face.
humidifier is going like a volcano.
The scene where he's like handing her the jug after he's dumped it, they're like down to a science. The process of
Yeah.
getting ready for bed is so good.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though. I gotta respect him for being on top of his self-care game.
Yeah.
it's
You know what I
way
mean?
up there.
But I think it's less self-care
very
and
high
more
on that.
I will die if I don't do this. I think it's less like I'm taking care of myself.
I think that's a form of self-care.
It's a form of
is.
self-preservation, certainly.
Being alive still is definitely probably the number one point of anybody's self-care
Yeah, but he's
foundation.
not-
I
like-
work on that all the time.
He's not like, I'm trying to be moist and have glowing skin. He's like, I will dry out and shrivel like a craisin if I'm not careful.
That is funny. We were talking about how much our wives bumped up our self-care game.
Oh, huge.
I have recently, within the past week, bought 3 new kinds of face wash, new shampoo, and new conditioner, and new deodorant.
Yeah.
All just a totally different experience. And I feel like I was just born for the first time.
Right?
I'm moisturized. I've never moisturized
clean.
before.
We've got a shower moisturizer that it's like, it's funny. There's so many times in my life as a man, I feel primitive. Like, why don't I understand something like this?
Yeah.
Like, why does the smell of meat make me like, oh, like I want to find it? And there's just the things that happen that like make me like, oh, like grunt or something. But
Real home improvement of you.
Real
Yeah.
home improvement. So there's this, we use this. I could not believe that I could put on a moisturizer in the shower in a place full of moisture.
Yeah, it doesn't make
and
sense to
yet
me.
it makes my skin smooth and
It
it
doesn't make sense to me.
stays. This is magic.
It doesn't wash off.
This is magic.
That doesn't
No,
make
you're
any sense.
supposed to do it in the shower.
That's wild.
That makes no sense.
onto wet skin. Whatever.
I have recently become a lotion boy. I've never been a lotion boy, but I'm a face lotion boy now.
I am
And it
too.
feels like whenever Tarzan tries on his dad's suit.
Yes.
It was just like, I can stand on 2 feet? This is unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm all about the like sulfate-free shampoo game.
Yeah.
and all that
Oh,
stuff.
yeah.
And if I grew my hair out, just by the way, it would look like Tom Hanks in this movie.
Have you ever done one of? Oh, same for me,
Just
dude.
real poofy.
Yep,
Same
poofy and
for me.
curly.
Have y'all ever done like the like under eye, like gel mask things?
No,
No.
I desperately want to do like a face mask that you peel off and it hurts.
They're good. These don't hurt hardly ever, but those are fun. Chelsea has some of those too.
Right on.
I recommend it.
Man, bring some next week when we record.
I can totally do that.
Let's face mask while we record.
do it.
That will be $500 though.
So
I'm kidding.
I want to talk about something in this movie that is my super dump and that bothers me a lot.
Okay.
And I understand that it's a product of the time that it was created in, and I get that. I want to talk about the treatment of our female characters in this movie. I take real issue with a lot of this. Particularly, it is most egregious to me at the scene with Sam and his friend and his wife. I can't remember who plays his friend, but it's the ones who give him the Tupperware at the beginning.
That's his sister.
Is it?
It's supposed to be his sister and her husband.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Who is
So-
his wife? Who
So
is
his
Tom
sister is
Hanks'
Tom
actual
Hanks'
wife?
in real life.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
So
Acting.
she
Acting.
in this scene, it drove me crazy. And I understand it was the 90s, whatever, played up for a joke. I don't think we excuse it though. Just the treatment of like women cry over nothing and men don't understand emotion.
Oh yeah.
This dichotomy is all throughout this movie.
yeah.
And it's very frustrating
Sign
to
of
me.
the times.
I agree, but I
That doesn't
still don't
excuse it,
like
yeah.
it.
Yeah.
In this scene where she is just like nonsensically crying over something that she can barely get out because she's even thinking about it, and she's just withering away into nothing but a tearful mess, while the men laugh and are like, yeah, in the war movie with the grenades, I just can't even handle it.
Yeah.
You're the improv that.
Which is
The
great.
response to that.
Good improv.
Dirty Dozen. Yeah.
But it's not just this scene, it's just the most clear in this scene. It's all throughout, and I think it's part of Annie's character of being very like up in the clouds all the time.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, and like not settling for, I'm not saying she should settle, but like a lot of her reasons for I can't settle for the consistency of Walter because I just have these dreams of magic. It feels like they tried to feminize the desire for love. And like, I just had a problem with like Meg Ryan wanted a magical love, and so did Tom Hanks, but Tom Hanks mostly wanted like a reliable partner and
Sure.
like, you know what I mean?
He wanted
just-
it, but more
yeah.
jaded to it because he just lost what
Right.
he
Yeah.
thought was the only chance at it.
And if that was the only reason that it came across like he was jaded, was just because of his loss, then I would get it. But it seemed like a lot of times it was coming from man. Man is jaded for love.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it is, I think, inherently reductive in the way that we stereotype our genders in this one. So I get that.
I just found it really frustrating, I think. But particularly the idea that all of these women are blindly throwing themselves at somebody they've never met because he's sad and
Yeah.
single. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay, the weirdest thing to me about this whole thing is that the way that Annie decides to get a picture of him
yeah, is a private detective.
by like being impersonated, like hiring a private detective impersonating the FBI.
That's my super dump.
Really?
Is it really?
You talk about it then.
Yeah, I mean, it's just this. It wasn't like a flex of technology either.
No, it just felt weird.
It
to
was
me.
kind of an
it's
really
never addressed again.
unrealistic. And again, too, we've already kind of said the stage is set for not necessarily modern fantasy, but modern fantasy concept
Yeah.
Yeah.
in terms of a love story.
Sure.
But man, we just skipped a bunch of like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a better way for her to actually track him
Here's
down.
what I'm thinking. Like, use
But
that.
the Ripley on not like just asking the database
yeah.
what's going
yeah.
on, is
Well,
I'm
thought,
fine with the database. I think like have her look at the database and find that he's an architect. And then she orders a copy of like a newspaper article about him or
Maybe
something.
we
Like,
just
he won an
didn't-
award as an architect.
maybe we
something
just
like
didn't
that,
get
you know
enough
what I mean?
background on what actually she does for her job. If you could have explained that that's kind of what she does, or if it's for like a what do you call it, like a tabloid vibe or something.
there's-
I really
other
thought she was going to write an
TMZ,
actual article about him and
TMZ.
go meet him under the guise of a reporter.
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think there's just other better ways for her to get a photo of him and to have her first meeting with him. That I think they give her.
I do too.
They give her more strength as a character
It would.
because they give her more agency than just I'm hopelessly in love with this guy that I heard on the radio.
Yeah.
Right.
Fun fact too, and I'm sure y'all might have read about this, but Dumped in Denver, when they're having all the different like whatever in Miami, Dumped in Denver is the director. That's her voice.
Oh, no
We're
way.
talking about
Nora
that, which is
Fephron.
really funny.
That's cool.
Yep.
I like stuff like that.
And she's done a lot of rom-com type stuff.
Yeah. She was for a long time like on top, right?
Mm-hmm.
And her son Zach is so good in High School
Are
Musical.
they related?
No.
No, not
I
even
wish
spelled
they
the same.
Nope.
Is his with an F?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
Can you believe
I've
it?
always said that's crazy.
Fepron.
Fefron.
Fefron.
Zatch
Zach
Fefron.
Fefron.
Zatch Fefron.
How are you going to go to bed? You left your Fefron.
Nice. Nice, dude.
I don't even know what a Fef is.
But it's on.
It's on. I do know that much. So the ending of this movie, and by ending I mean like kind of Act 3, is sort of just a rapid sequence of events that are like a bunch of near misses,
Yeah.
which I find deeply enjoyable.
Yeah, those are fun.
The Jonah
I love how
jumping
much
on the
I
plane.
hate it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Well, like I love how much I hate that it's happening.
Oh,
Does that
that
make
you
sense?
like want them to bump into each other?
Right.
Yeah.
I love that the movie's like, they don't get to meet yet. No,
Yeah.
they don't get to meet yet.
Yeah.
No, they don't
Yeah.
get to meet yet.
I think that's great. Like her letter when he walks out to go on the date instead of read the letter and like give it the time of day, that whole thing. And then Jonah, now it seems irresponsible
For a
that
kiddo.
Jonah can just do this, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But how many 90s kids were just trying to be adults and people thought it was cute?
Kevin McAllister, baby.
Macaulay Culkin, like I'm running a home by myself. Why the heck aren't your parents already back at the house?
Right.
Yeah.
You know, all this kind of stuff that happens that, yeah, I don't know. When do you think the child actor took off? You can't say Shirley Temple because she was just like some random goddess of like cinema.
I feel like it's got to be like an 80s thing.
I was
Doesn't
thinking,
it
I was
feel
thinking
like
E.T.
that?
yeah.
Yeah.
I really was thinking E.T.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
we've accidentally stumbled upon
Like the
Like
golden age.
a big like inner genre type thing.
Well, I think we're in a new golden age of child actors, if I'm being real, here in 2019.
Do you think it's because of the Stranger Things kids
I think
and
that's
things like it and
helpful.
stuff like that?
Yeah, I think that's supremely helpful.
It is helpful. And what's so interesting, why do we have so many good child actors that are paired up in like some pretty scary stuff?
Because children in danger is some of the scariest things we can experience.
It takes
I
us
think.
right to the inside of
Yeah,
our souls.
I think
of like,
so,
this
yeah.
is how I feel anyways.
Well, that's an archetype that we're following from Stephen King. I mean, that's like his MO
Sure.
largely.
And then we turn around and have Sleepless in Seattle, where Jonah is alone in New York City and is just fine.
He's just fine. Like, why isn't the taxi driver saying anything?
Why is the text like, where's your dad?
Yeah.
Or mom? Where's
your
anybody?
dad?
Well, and to be fair, he jumps in. He's like, "I'm meeting somebody." So
Hey, money talks.
I'm going to meet my new mom, is what he says.
yeah, that's pretty rough.
That's like, call the cops,
As a
brother.
cab driver, be like, where's your old one?
Yeah.
Where's current mom?
Oh,
Hey-
that's
hey,
fun.
kid.
You know, you're the third kid today meeting their new mom at the top of the Empire
What
State
are
Building.
the odds?
And they smoked a
And he
lot
goes-
in New York in the 90s.
He goes, "You gonna spit off of it?"
yeah.
And Jonah, even a kid, is basically like, "Probably not."
Yeah.
What? No.
No.
I forgot that taxi driver was also like the secretary for Monsters Incorporated.
I'm watching you, Wazowski. You gonna spit off of it?
You're going to meet your new mom.
Twilight, new mom.
Ooh, where was that joke 3 months ago?
No idea.
Very good.
Can we go to the Empire State Building?
Yeah.
Can we just do that?
Before that,
Okay.
I would like to go on this.
Oh, I do like the apple peel I don't know why I raised my hand.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
I
Carter.
live in a life of education. Oh,
Yes, Carter, in the front.
I did like the apple peel.
That was awesome.
That your mom could peel an entire apple on one
Yeah.
slice or
I
whatever.
think I want more stuff like that.
Right
I do
after, like a couple of scenes
See?
after we saw Meg Ryan peel
Y'all
the
are,
apple.
okay, your point is getting to me even more now. What if we had more of these things to where it's almost like there's a spirit of love and it doesn't just go away, it just moves to somebody else.
Yeah,
Right.
I think I'd be okay
If we're gonna
with
go
the
fairy
fate
tale, go
stuff.
fairy tale.
Like if we
Okay.
lean more into it, I'm
along.
okay with
I'm coming
that.
along with that.
And like let's have Jonah watching a home movie of his mom and the way that she like rollerblades, but in a really like strange and like quirky way.
Your mom always ripped the knees out of her jeans when she rollerbladed.
Right. And then
I
let's cut to
need-
Meg Ryan falling straight on her
and
knees
don't
while
do it to
holding hands
death.
with
Give me
Walter.
3 to 5 of
Yeah.
those things.
And let's spread them out.
Give me 3. We need a 3 beat. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Give me 3 of those.
And let's make the last one something big that she can do again for us
'Cause
on
I-
top of the Empire State Building.
I think the apple thing stands out for a lot of people that have seen the movie. Like that's one of their favorite
I
parts.
loved it.
And it could be that that's the deep inside what
Hey.
you want the rest of it to be.
Okay, so here's the 3 then. Like one of them is something about rollerblading. And
Whatever,
then
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something
a
like that. A
throwaway,
physical
yeah.
thing. The other is peeling the apple. And the other is like Jonah says like mom is the only one that knew Harvey, my bear. Or
I was
like,
gonna say
recognized
it's gotta
was
be
Harvey.
Harvey.
And then she goes,
The
she
only
picks up
one
and
that
she's like,
talks to him like a person.
and then she's like, who is this? And he's like, it's Harvey. And she's like, nice to meet you, Harvey. And
Oh,
he talks
and it
to
would have
Harvey
been
like he's a person.
placed so well in
And
the
then
movie.
Tom Hanks sees that and is like, she loves my son the way that my wife
or
did.
she could.
Or she
Let's not
could,
jump
yeah,
that.
yeah.
She
That-
could.
is not just a love at first sight thing. That's some strange familiarity
Sure.
Yes.
of the
And
way
then he
that
can
loves
jump
her.
we
in
need.
with. Then he can jump in with. I'm Sam.
Nice,
nice
to meet you. Yeah.
Credits.
Yeah.
Shoot. Yeah.
That
I
would
don't-
be great.
And I don't want to come in here and be like, we can improve Sleepless in Seattle.
No way.
One of the
No,
best-
yeah.
I'm
but
just
like,
saying
we're
that was-
maximizers.
that's just what I want.
that would
you
have
know?
made me like it better.
Sure.
Doesn't mean it would be better, but that's how I would like it
That's
better.
what I was looking for, I think, maybe,
Yes.
without
Cool.
knowing it.
cool.
But I want to talk about the strange day that Walter and Annie have before they get their Valentine's Day is they're looking for their china and they decide on 10 place settings.
Yeah, it's the same one. I think they tried to do, and they do it well a lot in this movie, is you want to find some kind of like Seinfeld obscurity that everyone's experienced.
Right.
Or enough people have
Yeah.
experienced.
Right.
That's just like, oh, there's that one guy
They're like,
that's
8's
really
not
mean.
enough, 12's too much. Boom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they do that.
Did y'all register for China for your weddings? Did
No,
y'all get
because I
China?
don't plan on the queen ever coming
I
to my
know.
house.
We didn't either.
We didn't do China. We did like plates and
Yeah,
sauces
plates and
and
forks
stuff.
and stuff.
I mean, you got to
No.
eat.
But
you
we
gotta eat
have,
fancy.
there's only so much inherited China that you can keep. Like, if the 5 generations before you have some that they're going to keep passing down, well, eventually,
Why get any more?
I've got too much.
Yeah.
Eventually, you're flush with China.
I'm
Yeah,
flush
so
with
much
China.
China. Now, we see them go to, I think it's Tiffany, right? The jewelry store.
Tiffany's.
Tiffany's. And
Company.
it's weird because she gets the ring then. She didn't have it before. She gets the ring then, but he didn't get it from Tiffany's. He just had it resized, and any
At
place
Tiffany.
can resize a ring.
Yeah.
So it seems strange to me that he waited until New York at Tiffany's to resize
that
the ring.
the actual ring that they use in the movie, though, is a Tiffany's ring.
So it's a plug.
So it's
That's
a
our
product
Reese's
placement
Pieces.
thing. Yeah.
Well, then how did we get it earlier?
I don't know. Because Tiffany's is in New York and it's not in Baltimore.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just such a weird Valentine's Day leading
Yeah.
up to this dinner in 30 Rock.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of,
Yeah.
I get the looking over to the Empire State Building.
No, I love it.
Like the visible, yeah.
I think that's great.
longing
And
right there.
and I do want to talk about their dinner before we jump to the top of the building.
Do it.
And their dinner is such a weird breakup.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be that okay with that.
No way.
I don't think there's a reality where somebody's like, yeah, I mean, like, dude on the radio, probably great.
Yeah,
That
I
makes
wish I
sense
could
to
find
me.
it. I feel like I've seen it done like that before and I liked it. I didn't like it as much in this.
I feel like that's a thing that happens in rom-coms. So like if the girls, sometimes if the girl's with the wrong guy is totally cool with that.
I
And
think,
it's like,
I think it goes both ways.
I get it. You're with the wrong person.
It's the
Right.
wrong person is almost like the surrogate for the audience watching the movie. Like they
Yeah.
know, they
Yeah,
have the
yeah.
knowledge that
It
we
just
do
feels
sometimes.
like when movies do this, they want to have their cake and eat it too. They want to
Exactly.
have the breakup that leads to a better relationship without the pain of the breakup and hurting
that's why
someone
we
else.
didn't like. That's why we didn't like that part of the Notebook.
Right. It's
Yeah.
like no, you're gonna hurt somebody. That's part of it.
Is this gender flipped Notebook?
No,
Not
there's
even-
too many plot.
Dude's got a weird stalker. Like she's a stalker.
She only wrote 2 letters.
she flew across the country to meet a guy she'd never met.
She only wrote 2 letters.
Because she was in love
He
with
wrote
him.
her every day for a year.
I see parts of it. I won't completely squash it, but I don't completely
They are
agree.
never birds. Not even one time are they birds.
Not
That's a good
one
point.
time are they birds.
That's a good point.
Hey.
There's like not really even any birds in this movie, and there's like 1,000 in the Notebook.
Yeah,
There's
almost
so many.
Almost none in this movie.
Did you know some of those birds, they shot it once and then couldn't get all the birds, so some of the birds are cut up garden hoses. They reused it from Raiders, just like
And
I
some of them
reused
were
that
lizards without
yeah,
feet.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild.
Which is just a snake. We didn't really spend time on that. But
Some of them are blown up Wii Sports remotes. Sleeves.
okay. So it's just this nothing breakup of like, yeah, absolutely. you
Can we
should go
get to
after
the
this
Empire
guy.
State
Yeah,
Building?
let's do the Empire State
How
Building.
about the crazy reveal in the elevator from this guy running the elevator that Sleepless in Seattle was the very first installment of the Marvel Cinematic Universe? That Stan Lee makes a cameo to show us the connection. And we can go back to Endgame and edit that of like what Sleepless in Seattle meant to Endgame.
I think there's a time stamp in New York at that point.
It looked so much like Stan Lee when I first
really
saw the
does.
guy.
Yeah.
And I'm so used to, because probably,
always my favorite.
literally 21 of the last movies I've seen in the last 10 years
Yeah.
have had Stan Lee in them. And so
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
like, oh, that's a big thing. He's
Just
always
waiting
in
for
there.
him.
Right.
Yeah.
There was a fraction of a second that I was like, Marvel. Wait, what am I doing?
What's the name of the guy, the lead actor in An Affair to Remember, the movie that they're all obsessed with? Is that Cary Grant?
Cary Grant. Yeah.
That should have been Cary Grant.
He did.
But it should have been him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But like that's the thing. Like pick if Cary Grant's dead, pick a movie with an old romance movie with an actor in it.
Well, they
who's
wanted
still
it to be the top of top of the Empire State Building was the significant part.
I know. I just can't get away from how great it would have been if that elevator man was played by the guy in the movie, and it's just like a little nod, like a
Well,
little cameo
like
that. You know what I mean?
when Dick Van Dyke was the bank owner
Yeah.
in the new Mary Poppins movie.
Exactly.
Like if it was Zatch Fefron,
Yes.
Zatch Fefron.
Yes.
Nora's nephew.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Nora Ephron's nephew, Zatch Fefron.
Nora Ephron's nephron Zatch Fefron.
Yeah, exactly. So here's where we get the are you Annie from Baltimore? No. Are you Annie? And nobody's like, are you okay?
Yo, one lady, the last lady he asks, the blonde, she's the worst actor in this movie. I want to start trying to pick out these
She's like,
extras
"No."
that gave up.
And then just
In
robo
E.T.,
turns.
it was the shotgun cops.
Yeah.
In this one, it's this lady who's just like, I mean, I guess there's dull people out there, right?
no.
But no one was like, I'm going to embody someone people forget. Like, you don't do that.
Are you
Or
Annie from
maybe you
Baltimore?
Also, don't overact. You're like, I'm sorry, I'm not your mommy. Like, what do you like?
No, I couldn't be. It's impossible.
It's not me.
Yeah.
And then just jumps. No, that's awful.
Yikes.
I wish you. Sorry. Where's my mind? But it all happened because of this crappy lady.
Yeah, and sits and cries at the backpack, goes home. Nope, they forgot the backpack. And then, nice to meet you. Let's hold hands.
Yeah. They have good love eyes, though.
They
have
really
good
do.
love eyes.
I
agree
wanted to
with that.
kiss them both.
A 3-way kiss. Triple kiss.
Triple kiss.
A thriss.
That's it. I mean, it ends.
Much like it began.
I do pump the final line. I do love
Yeah.
that a love story's final line was, nice to meet you.
But it's not, though.
Yeah, it is.
No, because it's immediately followed with, shall we go?
No. Nice to meet you is the last line in the elevator.
Is it?
Yeah, because she's
Yeah.
like, Sam. Like, she hears his name for the first time. Nice to meet you, Sam. End.
Yeah.
Well, good.
He says,
Jonah
"Shall we go?"
smiling.
Doors closed.
Yeah.
I do like that. And I like
And
that.
then bad CG of the Empire State Building.
Yeah, but I like that it has the heart on it. That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it time to rate it?
Yeah.
It is.
Let's rate it. Using science. We here at Two Chunks and a Hunk have perfected the art of movie rating using the scientific cinema scale. And that is as follows. The best thing we can ever say about a movie is own it, don't lend it.
Buy that poster.
The next best thing, that's buy it. Followed by rent it and then stream it. After that, it's forget it and last. But certainly least, the worst thing we could ever say about a movie.
God hath forsaken us.
I'll go first.
Okay.
I'm going to give this movie a stream it. I'm glad I watched it. I feel like it's foundational to a lot of future rom-coms. Love Tom Hanks. Love that father-son relationship. It was definitely worth a watch. I probably am not super interested in watching it again. It's a stream for me.
I'm going to give this movie a buy it. And I do so because it is the white bread of movies, I think.
Like
it is virtually inoffensive and it's pretty wholesome.
Yeah.
It's not something that you can have for every meal, but sometimes it's great to put a piece of white bread in the toaster and just enjoy your bread.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it too. And I think because some of my favorite rom-coms are the ones that are not going to be too taxing for me to watch, if that makes sense. Because there's some that are like, because E.T., we all bought that poster, and it was one of the like highly applauded movies we've ever reviewed.
Yeah.
But I will not watch that every day. Personally, it exhausts me.
Yeah, it's a journey.
And
I think all of our Choosers Choice movies were like that, where it's just like, this is great. I need a break from something this taxing.
For sure. And to me, one of the sweet spots, I'm going to say one of them, because there are things like Crazy Stupid Love that actually have some pretty fun plot lines that are unique to rom-com. But a good sweet spot for me is that. Something that's not taxing, that I can semi-have in the background, that just kind of gives me, not necessarily like deep feels, but just like charm. There's just a good charm about it. So it's a buy for me.
Yeah, I love that. I think this is going to be a spicy series for us, just as far as like differing opinions on these movies go. I think we're going to have a lot of
history.
So that's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
I'm really excited for that.
Yes.
So don't forget, next week's movie is Sweet Home Alabama, starring Reese Witherspoon. It's going to be great.
She's there.
It's going to be a good one.
And while you're not forgetting things, also don't forget to rate and review and send in your famouses. We want to meet them.
Excellent. To close the episode, I'd like for us each to say our name and to say what the modern equivalent in our head of a call-in radio show would be to meet your spouse in today's modern world. For Two Chunks and a Hunk, I'm Jordan Wonders. And I think this movie would probably have Sam and Annie meeting via Instagram Live.
I'm Doge, and I think that Sam would be a guest on a podcast, and she would hear him that way.
I'm Carter, and guys, I think we're swiping right.
Tinder?
I hardly know her.